Thank you, and I will be presenting our findings on the effect of the soluble guanylate cyclase activator, cinaciguat, in aged mice using telemetric cystometry recordings. I have no conflicts of interest to disclose. Benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, is a highly prevalent condition in older men and the major cause for lower urinary tract symptoms in this population. BPH is characterized by the localized proliferation of stromal and glandular epithelial cells, combined with the excess deposition of extracellular collagen. This predominantly occurs in the transitional zone in the proximity of the urethra, impeding urine flow and leading to the development of lower urinary tract symptoms. The mechanisms contributing to BPH are still unclear and appear to have multiple contributing factors. More recently, the PDE5 inhibitor, tadalafil, has been approved for the treatment of lower urinary tract symptoms in men with BPH, indicating a role for the nitric oxide signaling pathway in the pathology. PDE5 inhibitors act by preventing the breakdown of cyclic GMP, which is produced by the enzyme soluble guanylate cyclase when activated by nitric oxide. SGC activators, for example, such as cinaciguat, are a class of compounds that enhance the catalytic activity of soluble guanylate cyclase in the absence of nitric oxide or the heme group within its active site. Thus, could potentially be used for individuals refractory to PDE5 inhibitors. We and other labs have demonstrated that male mice greater than 24 months of age exhibit morphological changes in their prostates reminiscent of human BPH, specifically increased prostate mass, stromal collagen content, and histological evidence for hyperplasia in the prostatic urethra. Accordingly, our aim was to examine whether the morphological changes in aging prostates correlated with the changes in the lower urinary tract function using telemetric cystometrogram measurements in awake, freely mobile mice. Additionally, we aim to determine the effect of cinaciguat, a soluble guanylate cyclase activator, on bladder activity of adult and aged male mice. For this study, we used 9-month and 24-month-old male mice. We surgically implanted an HDX10 pressure transmitter into the bladder lumen and allowed the mice to recover for a minimum of 1 week. Pressure recordings were obtained in customized metabolic cages equipped with radio receivers and load cells to record voided volumes with high sampling rates and 10 microliter sensitivity range. Baseline recordings were obtained from each mouse over a 24-hour period. Then mice received daily gavages of cinaciguat over a 14-day period. Here are representative bladder pressure and simultaneous urine volumes recorded from the load cell. In normal adult males, during micturition, there is a rise in intravesical pressure, and uroflow occurs during the bursting of the external urethral sphincter, seen as rapid phasic pressure transients. This is a characteristic of normal voiding within rodents. There were clear differences observed between the adults and aged mice. Adults showed larger voided volumes compared to the aged mice, and intravesical pressures during voiding was also higher. The filter paper used to line the load cells also indicated aged mice had smaller void spots compared to the younger counterparts. In aged mice treated with cinaciguat, we observed a time-dependent improvement in cystometric parameters. By 1 week into the treatment, voided volumes nearly doubled, and by 14 days, voided volumes were comparable to adult mice. The summary results show that aged mice had smaller mean voided volumes, slower maximum flow rate, higher maximum voiding pressure, and more frequent voids during their active period. Aged mice treated with cinaciguat showed a return of cystometric parameters comparable to adult mice, with the exception of voiding frequency. In summary, aged mice had smaller, more frequent voids with decreased flow rate and higher voiding pressures compared to adult mice, suggestive of outlet obstruction. Treatment with the soluble guanylate cyclase activator cinaciguat improved cystometric parameters in aged mice, supporting the involvement of cyclic GMP signaling pathways in aging-associated bladder dysfunction and the potential for cinaciguat as a new therapeutic agent. Thank you for your attention.